Yeah, obviously the playoffs are largely about adjustments, but how much do you feel teams showed their hands in a close first game, and how much do you anticipate, there to be a surprise adjustments as this unfolds?
Yeah, I thought we both showed a lot in really small ways. What they did late game, what we changed in pick and roll coverages. But I think the adjustments kind of go to different levels when they come out with something different offensively than maybe we've seen on tape throughout the year. Same with us. I think you take a look at what your standard was for that first game and be honest with yourself how effective it was. And then you have to decide, do we need to adjust or do we just do it better? I thought throughout the game last night, in the game itself, we got better at what we had talked about doing. So, yeah, I think it's and there's only so much you can really do. I mean, honestly. There's a multitude of ways to show something, but really, usually in the end, what you're trying to accomplish is the same thing, regardless of what your adjustments are. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot. I brought this up a million times. Their personnel is such that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. So we know that, and we'll try to stay clean and go through things the right way, but keep the guys off their feet, but really mentally talk about, we may see this, you might see that, so we can kind of presuppose, I guess, direction to the players of what's going to happen and how we're going to attack it.
Did you feel better about things that, well, we did nail it. We got it. We just got to execute it.
Yeah, we didn't nail it, but we definitely got better as the game went on. And I know sometimes, too, the adjustment for them is just James Harden seeing our coverage and Kawhi taking a look at the tape, and those guys just telling themselves they can be better, just like for us, spacing for Nikola the right way, how they guard Jamal and pick and roll late in the game, having a better plan for that. And those are the things you don't know what the other team's going to do, so you have to react on the fly. So this is, like I said, it's a high-level series. There's so many good players in this series, so we will react on the fly. Hopefully you can guess, like I said, or presuppose what they're going to do and be prepared for it.
Is there in some respects, is this a series where the coverage is just kind of going to go out of the window and it's just going to be about all effort?
Yeah. I thought the end of the game was like that. It was a very high-level AAU game there for a while. It was almost like pressing and trapping all over the court in a way. Like we were up with James. They were sending a third defender, Jamal and Nikola, and you're just relying on effort, fly around, and trust. And when you have guys this skilled in this series, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, like I said, James, Kawhi, it does come down to effort. After you take the ball out of their hands, can you fly around and make multiple effort plays to win a playoff game? So we made just enough of those. They made a lot themselves. So we know tomorrow's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a grind.
On the offensive end with that, though, obviously you're leaving Russ open. How much about today is, okay, if it gets to this and it's a household effort, we're going to be strategic in how we use him in those moments?
For sure. We talked about that. We talked about who we'd like to be responsible flashing to the ball to create those 2v1s, those 3v2s behind the defense. Be calmer in that moment, which is hard to do because the game is so crazy. But no, we'll definitely dictate how we want to attack what we saw. Not to mention, Michael wasn't out there, and Mike definitely could be out there tomorrow. And if they want to rotate that way and he's standing in the corner, it's a different story.
David, how surprised were you at Nicole only scoring 4 total points in the fourth and overtime, or was that kind of by design on your part?
That's by design from the Clippers. They put 4 people on him, 3 people on him. When he's going to score, it's going to be in the flow. We did get the post up to him. We ran our wedge play. They didn't come and double that time, and he scored. And because he scored, now they brought multiple bodies, and Russ got a layup. So he's going to read the game as best he can. I thought he did a great job being patient like he always is, and we keep talking about this, but the other guys made big shots, and they're wide open. So shoot the ball. I can't not tell Coach Lou, please don't put 3 people on him, please don't put 4 people on him. It's going to happen. So this is a team game, just like for them. They found Chris Dunn a few times. He got great looks. Batum threw in some crazy shots. But that's the point. Is like sometimes at the end of the 24-second shot clock, the best answer is the open man, and you can't fight that in these games. So, not by design, but I think he had 9 assists. He could have had 15. If he has 15, we're going to win by 15. That's the bottom line because they're wide open shots, they're layups. So we'll live with that.
you guys in the championship run, you obviously go 16-4, but you also go 16-4 just on the glass. So far, you guys have not lost a game on the glass since you took over. Do you find that that's something that you're really stressing as head coach, or is this something that the group scales up, kind of just being a veteran team?
Yeah, I think we have given a lot of attention to that. I thought it kind of was one of the reasons why we won the game yesterday was our second opportunities compared to theirs. And there was a timeout where you could really tell the guys were locked in just on that. Okay, if we're going to give all this effort and fly around and be up and pick and roll and rotate, and they take a shot and they get the rebound, what's the point? Like, once a shot is taken, it's a war to get the ball in a sports term, to go get the ball. And that's part of the whole series. And it's kind of like the last 4 minutes of that game and overtime was just a slugfest of slow possessions, both sides. And if you can just have 3 more opportunities in them because you win the offensive glass and they don't, it's a big deal. Extra opportunities in a game like that go a long way. So yeah, it's a point of emphasis. It's part of the physicality of the series. You have to own your spot, regardless if it's Zubats and you're small, or we had so many possessions yesterday where 3 guys attacked Zubats. It was amazing. That's what it's got to be like for game 2.
So I would praise your malleability after game 1 and just your willingness to go away from certain things that may have been, standard for you guys. He's been a coach throughout his career who's been praised for that and just his in-game adjustments. How have you looked at him as somebody who, especially in the playoffs, has been willing to do certain things of that nature?
Coach Lou?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's been incredible at it for years. And I look up to that. I also look up to his disposition of how he coaches the game. There's a calmness to him. And I think when you're calm, you can make creative decisions at a higher level instead of just freaking out and just doing this and doing that and, oh my God, that didn't work. Okay, let's go do that. They don't feel like that to me. He never has felt like that to me. And being calm in those moments with your staff to make the right decision is huge. And that's why he's been one of the best coaches in our league for a long time. So, yeah, I've looked up to him for a long time. This is weird, crazy to compete against him in the playoffs. But cool he said that because, utmost respect for him.
Is there anything you've noticed from how Michael Porter responded to his poor play last night, or just from the benching? Is there anything you've seen after the game or today?
Yeah, I talked to Mike. No, Mike's fine. I mean, this is the reality of it. We're going to play guys that are going to play well in that game. Believe me, there was multiple times when they changed their defense. I'm not stupid. I was like, I cannot believe I don't have Michael Porter in the game right now standing in the corner. But you have to go off feel. And I thought our defensive intensity and energy is what won us the game. And it felt like those 5 guys, it just felt like the right answer. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I just know we won the game. So I'll have the same thing tomorrow. I'll look at it the best I can and make the most unselfish decision I can make for the group to try to score more points than the Clippers in game 2.
Coach, given the shooting season that AG had, what kind of dynamic does that add to the offense if he's a guy that they're willing to dare to shoot?
Yeah, and it's funny, AG's so talented that you want him in 2 places at once. I mean, he's a corner 3-point shooter, but he's also the best guy to have in the dunker. So it's hard. And there were multiple times last night where I was kind of going back and forth, like, do I put Russ in the dunker? But he's a smaller guy. It's hard to finish against a guy like Zubats or whoever's out there, Kawhi. AG's going to finish that. But at the same time, AG has shot the ball so fluidly all year long. So those are decisions we're going to have to make throughout the game. And it'll depend on how they're rotating, how aggressive they're rotating, and is the dunker more important than him taking a wide open shot. I mean, he made a huge 3 last night also. So, yeah, to see CB, Russ, and Aaron all make shots in key moments, that's growth for our team, and that has continued.
Last one,
David, I know your high school coach has been here for the week. Was that game 1 going to be there tomorrow? Why did you want him here? What's your relationship like with him? How much have you leaned on him?
Yeah, he coached me. I coached with him. I coached against him. He's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. This whole NBA thing's cool, but he knows a lot more than the majority of the people coaching this league. So that's the main reason. He's a really good friend, understands the game, but 7 state championships, 600 wins, 25 league championships. I don't mind having that person around.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, David.
Thanks.
Ooh, good.
We good, Mike's?
No mics tonight, so old school.
How imperative is it to, if they commit, you know, Chris to Jamal, if they commit multiple bodies to Nicola, to take advantage of, you know, mismatches in the post, smaller guys, and, you know, just kind of cause havoc down there a little bit.
I mean, just trying to take pressure off of Maul and Yoke. Just make them think about more than just two-man game.
Watching the film, what are you most proud that your team was able to accomplish against them?
I think on the defensive end, we upped our level of intensity. I think we went back to our base defense and just started strapping up.
And the fact that you guys were able to get that win in overtime, despite Jokic only putting up 4 points in the fourth quarter in OT, what does that say about this team?
We're resilient. You know, we have guys that are going to step up. We have guys that can compete. And I want to compete. I want to take the big shots. And, yeah.
How comfortable are you guys in those situations? You've been through so many of these close, clutch time sort of situations in the playoffs, regular season, whatever. Just what's kind of the, I guess, calmness level?
It's calm. We know what we're trying to get to.
Aaron, with the zone you guys were using, some possessions it looked viable, other possessions it looked not very good at all. I guess, what was the difference in those possessions? Was it just intensity, or was there more schematic stuff behind it?
Well, it's not our base defense, so those are like schemes that you use just to try and like steal a couple of possessions throughout the game, you know, because possession for possession, like everyone matters. So if you could just disrupt them for 4 possessions throughout the game, it'll end up paying dividends.
Obviously, it was great, you know, being able to adjust the intensity defensively halfway through that game. Do you feel like the team has an understanding of why you were able to flip that switch and maybe a direction on how you can start the games off that way, stay in that rhythm?
I believe so.
How so? Just like, what is it? Is it a mind frame? Is it more strategic adjustments? What do you think it is?
No, just understanding what's needed, just out of necessity, wanting to win, the desire to play defense.
You guys did a good job of showing Kawhi a crowd on his post ups, isolations, and there were multiple corner threes because I think 2 from Chris Dunn, 1 from Derek Jones Jr. What was kind of the key to doing that?
Just show bodies. Kawhi, man, he's really, 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 really good. And so is James. So it's just to not leave anybody on the island and make sure that he sees multiple bodies.
What have you done from a mental preparation standpoint when it takes a certain amount of calm to hit the big 3 that you did, and even the free throws that you did at the end of the game?
Repetition, preparation, keeping things in perspective.
Everybody always talks about the adjustments game by game. To what extent do you feel like the team understands what those adjustments will be, can predict what they will be?
That's why we have DA. You know, DA is a great coach and he understands the game of basketball very well. So, you know, we trust him.
To what extent, the question I'm kind of getting at is, to what extent do you think success will come from executing the things you already know right now versus being prepared for the questions that are going to arrive in the future?
One more time?
So to what extent do you think your success in game 2 is going to be about executing the things you saw on tape, things you expect you can clean up, versus being prepared for something new that is coming your way?
Yeah, they're obviously going to make adjustments throughout the game, or from game 1 to game 2. As are we. When it comes down to it, it's not really about X's and O's, you know. It's about just executing what we already have in place, and just being who we are as a team, wanting it more, competing, playing well. Yeah.
Aaron, I know it was just 1 game, but do you feel like they, after your career shooting season, do you feel like they respected it more in the postseason than years prior?
Not sure. I don't really think about it. If they leave me, I'm gonna make myself available and do what I've been doing all season.
More question.
When you look back at the work that you put in last summer to take the jump that you did, what was most beneficial now, having the perspective that you have?
Most beneficial. I think it was just the understanding. I mean, I think like throughout my career, I think I've shot 40% from the three in playoffs. So I think it was just shooting the same way in playoffs as I did throughout the season and continuing it. So just understanding who I am as a shooter and what that means.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.